Hi. We want to talk about the Turkish economy and possibility what's happening and what might happen and what's the risks for the Turkish economy following the COVID pandemic. Now let's talk about at first the world so we can understand the risks that expected or should be expected for Turkey. During the pandemic, the EU economy has crashed during 2020. The EU economy is expected to shrink by 7.4% in 2020. We remember, or you might remember that during 2020 in March, Europe also shut down everything else. However, during the summer, once the number of infected people are decreasing or were decreasing, some of the EU states they gradually lifted all the measures, and after that, by end of the summer, beginning of autumn, the number of cases started to increase, and therefore EU after that by October and November shut down the economy harshly. Like UK, France, Germany, we have been seeing that, and that affected the economy really badly. Up until today, even though the vaccinations program has started, it's not going on with speed as anticipated. There are two reasons for that. One of them is the problem with the production or manufacturing. The other is most of the vaccinations that are produced are sent to US at this moment because the US has put enormous money in the beginning of this process. They wrote or they signed the first contracts with these manufacturers. They are receiving the first parties from that. We know that President Biden already declared that within the first 100 days, he wants to see 100 million people being vaccinated, and likely they are going to reach. We know that, let's say, the half of the German services economy, which is like 100,000 people, are now receiving from the government the paychecks, and this is really Germany succeeds in meager growth in last quarter despite those realities. However, like Italy and France, they decline. Economists, the magazine economists, journal economists, assume that the EU will succeed in ramping up vaccinations by spring or after spring, and restrictions will be gradually lifted. Means that the early signs of economic recovery might be seen after 3 to 6 months. It means that 2021 is mostly dead. So we will see some economic recovery by 2022. So let's look at now the US economy, the biggest economy in the world. The economic outlook remains one of the muddled optimisms with economic growing. Biden administration proposed a new stimulus package which already been accepted in the Congress. The job market is growing steadily despite the fact that the man jobs losses may be permanent. Household debts are behind their payments, and also the rents around $200 billion. But now we are seeing China demands agricultural, industrial, commodity and energy from the market because the economy starts moving, and that has been increasing the prices, and which means that in US now the prices are increasing. It means the inflation is increasing. As a result, it's expected that the interest rates will start rising. Even Fed will do its best to repress the interest rate. Long-term growth will be slowed since income support program will eventually end. This will increase the number of bankruptcies also in the country. Let's go to Turkey. The annual inflation rising slightly around 15% rate as the price of energy and miscellaneous goods rose. So in Turkey also now we are seeing the prices are rising. President Erdogan continued to blame the high interest for the inflation, which is not the case and is not shared by international investors as well as the economists, but this is a fact because of his religious background. According to Fitch, the net reserves minus the foreign exchange swaps fell 70 billion in 2020. Turkey has around 137 billion liabilities, whereas 48.5 billion in gross foreign exchange. That brings the reserves into negative territory. Other than the economic pressure, Turkey has S-400 Russian missile system, Eastern Mediterranean conflict with European neighbors, and also North African neighbors, including Saudi Arabia and the United Emirates, but don't ask me why they are interested. And this also puts on Turkey a great pressure. All these developments, either in the past or in the future, has affected and will affect the Turkish economy deeply. Central Bank seems to commit a tighter monetary policy for the coming years to battle with inflation. Central Bank wants to hold the tight monetary policy until 2023 at least, which is also the year for the presidential or second presidential election in Turkey. Most likely it will happen in September 2023. Moreover, Turkey wants to re-establish diplomatic relations with Israel following the March election in Jerusalem. And the only way to do is to attract the investors either through the Jewish investors influence, which have the influence on the U.S. Congress, and by reinforcing the central bank's reputations as independent institutions. Although the central bank has limited tools to encourage growth, Turkey wants to declare a reach deal with Jerusalem, according to the Israel Times and Haaretz in Israel, the newspapers. Turkey and Israel have already reached a deal, and following up the government after the elections, they are going to declare this deal. Why Erdogan is looking for that? Because as we said, the only way that to recover the economy is to put cash into the system, and to do that you have to have an agreement or at least a mutual interest with US, and the best way to do that is to use the Jewish community in business industry and their influence on the US Congress, so that the cash taps will be opened and there will be some cash going to Turkish economy. This all emphasizes that President Erdogan starts strengthening the economy in order to gain the confidence of the constituents prior to 2023 presidential elections. Will this be enough? Apparently, President Erdogan is aware of the risks and start taking measures, and this already emphasizes his trust to himself about it. If you like this video, there's a like button underneath the screen. Please press on it and subscribe yourself to our channel. So wherever you are, please stay safe and healthy. Have a nice day. Bye.